Welcome back to another video in this State series. Over the past few weeks I've talked about Chelsea, City and Bayern, and for those of you that don't know, this is the time of the week where I just go over and talk a bit less like formally and without a script about what is going on at the main clubs and the main events in the world of football right now. Welcome back to the JVM Football channel, where you can find game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. If you are interested and would like more football content like this, please subscribe to the channel. At the beginning of the season, I think that a lot of people were favouring Chelsea over Liverpool to finish second and challenge Manchester City for the title. But I just knew that Liverpool, especially of how they had been playing over the past few seasons and the amazing comeback they had in 2020, 2021, considering the amount of injuries they had and the amount of players they had like not performing at the highest level like they had throughout the past few seasons, the comeback they had was quite impressive. They managed to finish third, and at some time during the season they were seventh. So yeah, props to Liverpool. And I saw that and I told myself, how is Chelsea going to compete with that? Sure, they signed Lukaku, but as we have seen, Lukaku has been dreadful. And again, sure, the defense is very good, but as we have seen in the last few seasons, to win the Premier League, you have to have the best attack and the best defense. And I think that the only team that has a better attack and defense like combination than Liverpool is City, and only City. So in my predictions at the beginning of the season, I picked Liverpool to finish either first in the best scenario possible. And in the best scenario possible, I pretty much described Liverpool being as dominant as possible, Salah having one of the best seasons ever, Van Dijk being that dominant colossal that we had seen in the 2019 season, and everyone else just performing at the highest level. Well, that hasn't really happened. It has happened like in glimpses, but because it's not the best case scenario, they are right now second. And even in the worst case scenario for Liverpool, I've picked them to either finish second or third, because I didn't really see Liverpool finishing on the third this season, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen, even in the worst case scenario for me. And my final opinion, what I finally came to, was that Liverpool are going to finish second. The only reason why is because they don't have a better squad than City, and the way City were able to dominate last season without a striker, I just knew that whatever team was going to compete against City, they couldn't slip up enough. And that's what I'm going to talk about later on what has gone wrong, the few times Liverpool has slipped up, and what that has cost them so far in the Premier League. My player to watch for Liverpool was Van Dijk. For most of the teams around Europe, where I did my La Liga preview, my Serie A, my League Bundesliga, put the Liga of the Portuguese league, I always picked young players to watch. For example, I picked Vinicius, I picked Mbappe, Rashford, Foden. But for Liverpool specifically, I picked Van Dijk as my player to watch, because the upside here was with Van Dijk. He had an injury last season and Liverpool struggled because of it. But with Van Dijk back in the team, with that leadership and that confidence back in their defense, I knew that Van Dijk was going to have a special season. He hasn't had the best season, but he's had a good season. You can't tell me that Van Dijk has not had a good season so far. So props to him. He hasn't been as perfect, but it's been very good nonetheless. I mean, it's Van Dijk. So what has gone well for Liverpool? I want to dive off the Premier League for a second and go into the Champions League. This is where Liverpool have been the best team in the world. In the Champions League, no team has been better than Liverpool. They were my MVPs for my Champions League review and group stage preview, and it was for a reason. They've played 6 games and they won all of them. And this was one of the, I'll say, most balanced groups in the whole competition because they had to play Atletico, Porto and Milan, all teams that finished inside the top 3 in their respective leagues, and Liverpool just hammered them time and time again, especially Atletico. That was embarrassing, but it just shows the level that Liverpool are at. And what has happened in the Champions League is what I thought was going to happen for them in the Premier League in the best case scenario. Liverpool just going to be dominant. Liverpool have not lost a step in the Champions League, and the shows they finished first. They deserved it. And right now, if we're going to talk about odds, they are either the favorite to win the competition or the second or third. Second and third, maybe to Real Madrid and PSG. But yeah, again, we'll see. So yeah, what has gone well? Number one thing that has gone well for Liverpool is the Champions League masterclass that they have produced. Another thing that has gone well for Liverpool is Salah. I mean, Salah this season has been nothing short of amazing. Looking already into the Ballon d'Or next season, I mean, I know I shouldn't do this, but I can't help it. I'm like that. I like to know, like, who's going to win the Ballon d'Or. I think that's what the most interesting individual trophy that in the past few seasons. And I think that so far Salah has it. Maybe Lewandowski can have a say about it. But apart from Lewandowski, I think Salah has it in the bag. He scored, in the Premier League alone, he scored 16 goals and registered 9 assists. And then when you look into in 20 games, and then when you look into the Champions League, it's just more of the same. 7 goals in 6 games. That's another thing that has gone very well for Liverpool, Salah's incredible form. And let's not also, if we're going to talk about Salah, I think that we should also give some flowers to Jota. I made a video to Jota 2 weeks ago. Go watch that if you haven't. I think it explains what has been going on for Jota this season and the last few seasons, and now he has come to this form. And Jota is another guy that has been excellent for Liverpool, and there's something refreshing to see. Another thing that's gone well for Liverpool is their great team cohesiveness. This is the job of Klopp. Flowers to Klopp this time, because this team, I think that if you had to spend money to go and watch one team in the Premier League, I think that most people would go and choose Liverpool, even if they don't support Liverpool, apart from Manchester United fans, because it's just amazing to watch them. You'll always be entertained. The great team cohesiveness is worth it. And another thing that's gone well for Liverpool is Chelsea crumbling. Because if Chelsea hadn't lost that many points, I think they would be on top of Liverpool. So that's another thing that's gone well for them. What has gone wrong for Liverpool? Just a few points dropped in the Prem. Apart from that, I think the Liverpool have been quite near to perfect. Again, the Champions League masterclass highlights that. And the amazing form of the players that they have. So, yeah, what has gone wrong for Liverpool? I'm not going to point to many fingers or anything like that. Again, this is just me ranting. This is what the State series is. It's just me just going over what I've been seeing and what I feel like about the events in football. So if I have to pick what has gone wrong for Liverpool, just like from the surface, I don't really see anything. Just a few points dropped that shouldn't have been dropped by the team, but it happens. It happens to the best. So here have been Liverpool's top 3 performers so far this season. If I'm picking a top 3 for Liverpool, I'm going with Trent, Salah and Van Dijk. I've already talked about Salah. I mean, and even if I hadn't, there's really nothing to say about this guy this season. He's just been amazing, arguably the best player in the world right now. So for Trent, however, I think it was difficult for Trent last season not making it into the Euros, seeing the team go all the way to the final and him not being there to help them. I think that put a chip on his shoulder to be in the World Cup next season, and Trent has to be one of the first names in Southgate's list right now. In 20 games played so far this season in the Premier League alone first, he's played all 20 games and he's registered 12 goal involvements, 10 assists as a right back. This team, some of the individuals in this team just make me laugh. These numbers are crazy. Amazing work from Trent, and he only played 3 games in the Champions League this season, but that hasn't stopped him from registering 2 assists. This guy is impressive, really. Trent, second most impressive player. And for the third one, I'm gonna go, I think people could go with Jota, but as I've already picked Salah, I'm going to go with Van Dijk, and he was my player to watch. He has come back from an injury, a major injury that's sidelined him for the whole of last season. And yeah, 3.5 clearances per game, 72% of his aerial duels won. Van Dijk has been dominant at the back. 11 clean sheets in 20 games. Is Van Dijk back to form, so there's no way I cannot pick him. Out of 10, what would I rank Liverpool's season so far? I'll give it a 9. The only team that would give it a 10 would be Bayern and City. No, I'll give City a 9.5 because they have crumbled a bit in the Champions League. I'll give Bayern a 10. That's the only team I'd give a 10 because they've just been dominant in the league and the Champions League. And Liverpool have not been as dominant in the Premier League. So yeah, again, that's what has gone wrong for them. That I'm taking away that 1 point for their not inconsistency in the Premier League because they have been pretty consistent. It's just silly points dropped that you can't drop if you want to win the league. But anyways, thank you very much for watching the video until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. This is the beginning of something special and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and help me to grow this channel.